Okay, ready.
What was that?
I came.
I farted inside my body.
I farted up.
I farted up.
Thanks to Fantastic Fest.
Thank you, Fantastic Fest.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show here on SourceFedNERD called Best Thing I Saw All Week. This is the podcast type thing we've been testing out where we come around a table, a couple friends, a couple buddies hanging out, and we talk about
Movies.
the best thing.
The best thing we saw all week.
And that can be movies, TV shows, web videos, what have
Memes.
you. Memes.
Memes.
A T-shirt.
Memes are important.
A dog.
Actually, we're going to get to some memes in a little bit, but this past weekend, we went to Fantastic Fest down in Austin, Texas. Whitney fought against Bree. Whitney won. It was awesome. We got to watch some awesome movies. We played some awesome video games.
I sang
Checked
a
out VR.
karaoke song.
You sang a karaoke? Yeah, you did, and you fucking nailed it.
Thank you.
He did it dressed as a big blue man.
I was a big blue man.
It was really good.
And then we did a Snapchat story where you were a blue man.
We basically created a short film that we could have submitted to Fantastic Fest.
I mean, we still can.
and
I
it
saved
could have
it.
won. It looked like a lot of fun.
It was a lot better than some of the movies I saw.
If Steve, you were a really big proponent of us going to Fantastic Fest this year because you're a cheerleader for him. Could you explain really quick to the people at home what Fantastic Fest is?
I mean, it's essentially a genre film festival that is like, I mean, some film festivals like Sundance and TIFF, they have like these like midnight movie selections where it's like,
The weird.
you know, they'll play weird stuff. Yeah. But like Fantastic Fest is just all of that. It's like it's like sci-fi, horror, drama, animation, short film. It's like movies like The Witch from last year and Green Room, and or this year Arrival, the
Was
new
there.
Amy Adams movie was there, and
There's a
Miss
Studio
Peregrine's.
Ghibli. There was a Tim Burton showed up with his hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tim Burton was there.
But also a lot of great, not big studio films.
Yes, very small things that you would probably otherwise never see. And sometimes a lot of these movies don't get distribution. You'll
Which is
never see
weird.
them.
Yeah, because sometimes we'll see stuff that just blows our freaking mind. Like last year, we saw an experience where it was basically like live poetry, but we can't even like properly describe it to people because it's only like a live movie
And we'll never
demonstration.
be able to see it again.
Yeah, which is kind of depressing, but also makes it more special. So this episode of Best Thing, I was thinking that we'll talk about the things that stood out to us the most this year, the things that got us the most excited, the things that had us having the biggest emotional reaction, and the things that like left us saying, oh, what the fuck was that at the end of the day? Because there were a lot of those. Yes.
And by the way, the festival is in Austin, Texas.
Austin.
At
We
the
didn't say
famous Alamo Draft
Alamo
House.
Draft
Which is the coolest way to watch a movie ever. It's such a good
eat
theater.
and you can order really delicious food and really delicious alcohol to your drinks.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, for breakfast, one of the days I wanted a milkshake that had Bailey's in it and coffee, and they didn't serve it in the bar out in the lobby, so I had Jeremy order me one from inside the theater and then bring one out to me so I could have
What
it.
a good boy.
What a great boy.
What a good boy. So to kick it off, I'm going to go ahead and talk about a few of the things I liked, and we'll go ahead and pass it around the table. But two of them, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I wanted to talk about two because I felt like they deserved the recognition. I know, I'm an asshole. But I wanted to talk about the new Studio Ghibli movie, The Red Turtle. Whitney and I got to see it, and I think we should both talk about it.
cried.
No, we cried, and I think it's the only movie where I cried tears of pure joy.
Oh, wow.
during
It
it.
was beautiful.
And
Here, you go.
Yeah, so no, we both can talk about it, and I don't want to go too far into spoilers because this movie will definitely be distributed, and it comes out actually January 20th, wide release in America, so you guys can go check it out. And I know the fans of that studio already know this, but this is post Hayao Miyazaki, and they actually teamed up with a Dutch animator to direct this. And you
I'm sad about it, man.
it's okay, man. It's a
great
it's
movie.
emotional movie, but
Yeah.
there is a trailer out and there's a synopsis out, so I'll mainly stick to that without going too far into it. But a man in the very beginning, he becomes shipwrecked on a deserted island. He gets thrown in shit face.
He gets shit fucked in
Don't, and it's beautiful.
He's in a shit fire in the beginning.
He's shipwrecked. He's shipwrecked on a deserted island in the very beginning of the movie. And one of the beautiful things of this, which might kind of annoy some people, is that there's no dialogue for 80 minutes. There's none at all. It's him alone on an island and trying to figure out how to survive. And you kind of meet some fun animals, which is like, from Studio Ghibli, like they like love to animate their animals with like a fun personalities
fun,
and stuff.
yeah.
And that kind of sprinkles in some humor, but it's kind of his journey of trying to escape, but also growing up. And kind of there's like some other elements like love, and like you learn more about him and like interactions with other like things and whatnot.
That's a
and
good
it's
synopsis.
and it's also like a spiritual experience to see a boy becoming a man, and further from that.
Definitely,
So,
I haven't seen a Ghibli movie in the theater ever.
I haven't
and
either, no.
The animation is so beautiful. You're just sort of like calm and relaxed, and it's so just nice. I feel like one thing that studio does so well is they have heavier themes, and sometimes they make you sad, but more than sad, it's just touching because it's like human experience stuff. And we left the theater just feeling like a soul massage.
Yeah,
it was
right?
So good.
I had to go for a walk after because I was like, I kind of need to figure some stuff out. And I listened to some pump-up music, and I was ready to go for the next movie.
There were some movies where I had to take a walk, too, for the exact opposite reason.
Yeah, we'll get
me
to.
too.
There were plenty of those, and
Yeah.
when I get to mine in a second, it doesn't make any fucking sense. But that movie is beautiful, and one of the other things I wanted to mention was that the music was really good. The color, it kind of felt like you were watching a watercolor come to life.
Ooh.
And what was the thing that was in the back of my head?
Cerebellum.
Cerebellum. No, can't remember what it was, but it's a beautiful film. And that's the important part. Ghibli films usually don't have narratives. And I know we saw it with one of our coworkers, Len, and he didn't enjoy it as much as we did because he kind of didn't see the point of it. It didn't go from A to Z. You didn't see an arc really happening.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's not a beautiful story. There's still a story to be told. So it is a weird way to describe it because most movies we see in America are like that.
Beginning, middle, and end. Yeah.
But this one movie doesn't have that.
Yeah.
I think overseas, a lot of their films there are their pacing is completely different than ours. Like it's there's like a whole thing with that kind of filmmaking. It's
Which is kind of beautiful.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yeah, like I feel like a movie we'll talk about later had that as well. The Grudge versus The Ring.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
That movie, we have differing opinions at this
We
table.
do,
That
we
movie.
sure do.
So you should check that out in January. But I also want to touch on, just because of the YouTube aspect of this, it was Fraud, and we got a chance to see that.
Yeah,
and it
that
blew
movie
our
was
mind.
so fun.
You were in love with
Frogs?
the director.
I was. I don't remember I think his name is like Dean something something. He was married to somebody on Saturday Night Live, and if you're watching this, I'm sorry I'm fucking your name up. I'm in love. I told him after the screening that I thought he was cute.
Aw.
I said I loved your movie because Fraud was excellent, and also you were very dreamy.
So basically, the synopsis of this movie is that this guy, the guy we're mentioning right now, found this YouTube channel full of 800 vlog videos that a family put together, and it's just the dad filming with a kind of a shitty VHS camera. And then this director decided, I'm going to compile it into a story, a narrative. And the way it kind of unfolds is that you start out with this family. You can tell they have money problems. They keep getting bills, and so they try to have a garage sale, get more money. But the way this is told is that they immediately spend it, and then they get even more bills. So they go to the extreme, and they set their house on fire, and then they collect their insurance, whatever from it. So they're committing insurance fraud. And then the story continues of them trying to escape from North Carolina, where they live, all the way up to Canada. And as they kind of are not getting caught, but their credit cards are getting shut off, and then they see other things are happening to them, warrants are out for them, and they finally make it. But when you're watching this, you're like, are we actually watching people commit a crime right now? And at the end, basically explains that all of it's fake. It's all of it, the footage is real, but he went through and downloaded every single one of their vlogs and then labeled it and categorized it. Was oh, here's footage of the mom being angry. Here's them on a vacation. Here's this. And then he would be like, okay, I want there to be a fire. And there's surprisingly a lot of footage of house fires, of people setting their house on fire just cuz, and people filming their bills, and people filming them with guns and large chunks of money
YouTube
and stuff.
just says everything.
Yeah, so it took him 2 years to put this together. And
It's the same family that he's doing, or same people.
He stitched it together from a couple different YouTube channels where he was I need a close up of a bill or something like that. So a lot of hours.
Did
on
he
that one.
reach out to the people before he did it? That's cool.
Yeah, he got their permission, and they were down for it. It was mainly the dad, and the way he also paints the people to be very interesting individuals. Mainly, it's a wife and a husband, and the husband's kind of he described him as predatory and kind of an insecure creep during the movie.
He films himself so much.
And there's this really interesting scene where the kid's playing with the camera for a second, pointing at him, and he kind of gets emotional. He's like, "Give me the camera, give it to me." And he's and then it cuts away from that, and it's wow, that's kind of creepy of a dad to do to his little daughter. And but from then on, it kind of builds into this kind of crazy narrative. So I don't know if that will get released. I would love
don't
to.
know.
Like it's such
It's some of the craziest editing I've ever seen in anything.
I didn't like. It kind of has like this. It builds a really cool appreciation for editing, like what you can actually do with it, like how far you can go. Because I bought it completely during the entire thing.
Yeah, same.
So did he reach out to those people and ask them to film additional stuff, or it's just
No.
all stuff that existed on their channel?
He also said that he reached out and was like, hey, just so you know, it's taking kind of a darker turn. And the guy, his name is Gary. I remember that. 'Cause that is my dad's name. He said, yeah,
Oh,
sure,
boy.
that's fine. He said, oh, boy. Why were we talking about my dad the other... I don't remember.
Because of old boy.
Yeah, no, he was down for the entire concept, and they only had to fake one shot. They had to fake one shot just to kind of
That's
like
awesome.
to kind of like clean, like kind of bridge the narrative of like kind of peeking it to the climax of the movie. Then it was like maybe 2 seconds, and that was it.
Yeah.
And like he's like,
Really
even
cool.
if you watch it, like sometimes because they'll have dates on it, like on the footage, their clothes will change throughout the day. But we're not even paying attention.
doesn't
to that.
matter,
Yeah, it
yeah.
doesn't matter. So pretty cool.
If you're invested in the story, that kind of stuff can change around a little bit.
So that's an awesome movie, but the one that kind of got me that wasn't really sitting well with me was The Void. And I don't know, you didn't get to see
I
that,
didn't
did
see
you?
The Void.
All
no.
right,
I didn't see any of these movies you saw.
Yeah, so you're missing out. There's a couple good ones that if they come out, we're going to go see them.
Okay, I'm in.
We have a boys' day.
I'm going
But
to.
we saw The Void. And how did you, originally you were on board with it because there were a lot of cool prosthetics? What is it? What was the term? What's the term with it?
Prosthetics.
With those things? Puppeteering?
Practical effects.
Practical
Yeah.
effects. That's what it is.
Yeah, I actually gave it like an 8 when I left the movie, and then you and Sophia came out of the other theater and were just like pissed. And the more I think about it, the less I like it, but it does have some of the coolest practical effects I've seen in a movie recently, because that's not
Cool.
really a thing. Although I did find out that the Blair Witch, the new one, was all practical effects.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I still
had
have
no
yet
idea.
to see that.
That's
It's
a good
good.
one.
It's very good.
Good little watch. But The Void, really quick overview, is like a sheriff finds a man bloodied outside, like on the edge of his town, takes him to a hospital nearby that's kind of like run down right now, but they're trying to renovate it. But as they get there, they realize that they had been followed by this basically murder cult, and they surround the hospital and they can't escape.
Oh,
Sounds
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I remember you
Premise
guys
is cool.
describing
Premise
this
cool.
to me.
And
yeah.
then like other elements kind of show up to the hospital, like third parties that are like making things like heighten and heighten and heighten, and people kind of start to get killed. And we're like, okay, like things are like kind of feels like The Strangers and other horror movies of like being locked in a house. But then it takes a turn. Like it kind of gets to this point where like somebody starts cutting off their face and then a monster sprouts out of them and they turn
Cool.
into like this goat creature and they start eating people. And then at one point, like, I have to be careful when I was like saying, try to hold back from spoilers, but at a certain point, they're praying to triangles and they end up in a world where triangles exist and like it's in space, but it's not in space and it's in this oblivion and this
It's a
man
void.
sheds his skin and he becomes like this black devil thing.
They go to the void.
That all sounds really cool, though, right?
So, yeah, it does sound super cool.
Prime
yeah,
to
Will.
it.
Will yeah, there's a movie called The Void, Will. It's all about your idea of the void.
Yeah.
Wait, did you just say the Black Devil?
No, he peels his skin back and his
we're talking
skin's
about you
all,
right now.
His skin's all like burnt and stuff. Yeah. Jesus,
it
man.
all sounds so cool on paper, but like even when you say like the bad stuff, like there's a guy that takes his face off, and like there's a part where there's exploding skeletons like in Doom, and it's like
Yeah.
all sounds really cool, but it felt like they were just throwing a bunch of shit at the wall to see what sticks, and like the movie
Which is
made
cool.
no sense.
That's like what Fantastic Fest is about, though. Like, there's a lot of movies like Miss Peregrine's School for Gifted Children premiered there, but there's also movies like that, The Void, where it's like weird as shit. It doesn't make sense. There's weird creatures and satanic things happening, and it's kind of like a showcase of like weird, bizarre, artistic attempts at making like something new and different, which I
Yeah.
very much appreciate. Like, I would rather watch a movie like that, even if it's terrible, than go see like the same like studio 3-act structure
Agreed.
over and over again movies.
No,
you know?
we fully agree
Agreed,
because
yeah.
this festival like opens your eyes to a lot of different genres and a lot of
Yeah.
different directors that don't maybe won't get their shot at like something bigger, which we hope that they do. But this movie, in my head, I think that may have been my fault is that I went in thinking it was going to be the locked in the hospital type story.
And it just went.
It
off
goes
the rails.
fucking like.
Yeah.
tentacle babies and stuff. Like it just gets
It sounds
so
like right up my alley.
Everything sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool.
It just maybe wasn't executed right, or in like it was only like an hour and a half.
It just the left turn was a bit too sharp for you.
Yeah, and because it was like starting one way, and immediately it just was like, and here we go, and we're going, and it's gone.
And you
I
lost.
think I'd be
Yeah.
less mad at the movie if it didn't abandon things that it introduces immediately
Yeah.
after it introduces them. It's just like, and now there's a fucking demon baby, and
Yeah.
now this guy's cutting his face off, and this is happening. It's like,
You remember Prometheus, where they're like, okay, here's another alien, and another alien, and another alien. Should we talk about that alien? Nah, no, let's keep going. And like at the end, you're like, what was the point of all that? It's
Yeah.
kind of what this was.
Oh.
But the time's like a 1,000 because they're all like demon things.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're not. Like, I don't really know.
knows?
But the void is a place where people can be dead and alive at the same time. Why?
love that.
I don't know.
My grandpa could be there.
Yeah, he could be with all the triangles and pyramid people.
Because my grandpa is currently alive and dead at the same time.
aren't we all though?
So that's the void. Steve, what'd you see?
I saw a bunch of weird shit and a bunch of cool shit. My favorite thing that I saw was a movie called The Lure.
Yes.
Which was a
I'm so glad you're talking
Polish
about this. Yeah,
mermaid
Polish.
musical.
Polish.
It was
Polish mermaid musical.
Yeah, that's I mean, literally, like
That's all you need to
mic
know.
drop. I don't have to
Yeah.
say anything else. I mean, it really is like a musical. It was like Moulin Rouge meets
The Little Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid live action
Meets murder.
murder and blood and violence and nudity. Like there are these two mermaid girls, and without spoiling anything, who watch this band performing out on a beach. And they become so interested in this band thing that they actually come out of the water and join a band, basically. And so they join this kind of like traveling bar band, and they become like the main attraction because they turn into mermaids on stage while they're performing. They get into like a giant pool, and everyone's like, "Holy shit, it's mermaids!" And they freak out, and they're like stars. But then like one of the girls falls in love, and it's kind of like it starts to get complicated. But it's very bizarre and very strange and very whimsical. And there's this like scene where they're getting like human clothes, and they're taken to like a mall, and they're trying things on, and there's like this big musical moment. And it was that moment where I was like, oh my god, I
so
love
cool.
this movie. It's
But
just-
then it also has that dark edge to it
Yeah.
where they're murderers.
yeah, I mean, well, they're mermaid. Like in the
Murder
legend
mermaids.
of mermaids is that they're mermaiders.
Mermaiders.
The legend of like real mermaids is that they like they lure in men because they're lonely out at sea, and they're like naked girls out in the ocean. And then once they get in there, they eat them up basically. And so these mermaids are kind of true to that fable a bit. They're still bloodthirsty, but they're also kind of like they have heart, and they kind of don't want to do those things. But it's really cool because there's like other mermaids that are kind of like there as well that are also kind of like vacationing, what they call it.
That's cool.
And it's really, really bizarre, and it kind of like the only problem I had with it was it really shifts its tone from being whimsical and funny and like a big musical to kind of this like very dramatic, sad, kind of like tragic end, which I think kind of borrows from like the real Little Mermaid story a little bit. But I absolutely loved it. It was just so bizarre and so fun. It's like what I want from like a Baz Luhrmann movie, but like
Okay.
not what he's currently
It's not
been
like,
doing.
is
Yeah.
it totally like acid trip kind of like
Yo, but the
Baz
Get Down
Luhrmann?
is great though.
Yeah, the Get Down is actually I enjoyed the Get Down a lot. That's like the Baz Luhrmann thing the one Baz Luhrmann thing I've enjoyed after quite a while watching Baz Luhrmann
Yeah.
movies.
But is The Lure kind of like Baz Luhrmann, like acid trippy Baz Luhrmann, or
at times
more?
it is kind of like otherworldly and dreamy and dreamscape-ish, but I feel like it's more like it's grounded in reality in the sense that like real like terrible things are happening, and it's very like real.
And they don't like spend a lot of time on the fact that they're mermaids and like the mystical aspect of
Yeah,
that.
no.
They just
They're like-
mermaids exist, and it's cool to see, and that's it.
Yeah,
Like,
there's just all this weird stuff. Like
That's
at
cool.
like without spoiling too much, like there's like that whole element of like wanting to be a human and not wanting to go back to the mermaid world. And there's this like crazy scene that's very gory and very strange. And like I don't know, it's just it's a hard movie. I don't think you could play that in theaters here because it's so gratuitous, and like there's like a lot of nudity to the point where it's like I don't know. I don't think it could play well here. It
Maybe
could do,
like ArcLight and stuff.
Yeah,
like
it could do like
indie.
small screens.
Cinefamily.
Yeah. Like if you get a chance to see it, absolutely try to because it's so good.
All you really need to know is Polish Mermaid musical. And
Right?
that's, like,
I mean,
that should be enough of a sell.
The guy that like, because every time a Fantastic Fest movie like screens, like there's just tons of movies. I think at the end of the day, I saw 11 movies.
Damn.
After like the entire Fantastic Fest. But before every movie, one of the like curators of the festival comes out and kind of introduces the movie and explains what you're about to see. And it's kind of like each of these curators are also kind of like throughout the year going to festivals and getting underground videotapes and just like watching all these crazy movies. And then they're like, oh my God, we found a Fantastic Fest movie. And that's basically how they kind of pick all the Fantastic Fest movies. And the guy that introduced this one was like, we were watching this in Tim League's like attic. And Tim League's the guy that like runs Fantastic Fest. And he's like, we were instantly like, oh my God, this is like a Fantastic Fest movie. And
Yeah,
like,
what do you say? Core values. It's got fantastic.
yeah, core values. Yeah, exactly. But I absolutely highly enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic.
A Polish mermaid murder musical.
That's it. I mean, that's all you need
Great.
with beautiful women and nudity in the entire movie for those of you that care about that kind of stuff. But the movie that I saw that I absolutely did not like, which like really upset me and made me uncomfortable, was called We Are the Flesh.
Oh, is that the Mexican sci-fi horror?
Sci-fi is a hard sell. I don't know if I don't know.
All I know
Like
about
I
it.
remember Lon was like, because our friend Lon came with us, and Lon was explaining it like it's like this fantasy sci-fi thing, and I was like, oh man, you got me. I'm a Mexican fantasy horror sci-fi. And it was not that. It was just it was a horror in the sense that it was horrifying. It's really just kind of about this like kind of Satan devil type character, this homeless guy who's just kind of like living in this like abandoned warehouse, and he kind of like does all these really strange things there. And then these brother and sister, this young brother and sister show up, and they're also homeless, and they're like, "Can we stay with you for a while?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's this super creepy guy, and like what ends up happening is he kind of like tries to get the brother and sister to like fall in love, and he forces them to like have sex with each other. And it's
Ew.
kind of rapey and like still like aggressive and sexually strange. And then there's like real penetration and real like blowjobs happening.
Real
and it's, like,
blowjobs,
real
you
blowjobs,
say.
not
Wow.
fake ones. And then
And
there's
then-
like there's real like masturbating, and then there's like this moment where there's like 2 minutes of just like a vagina on screen, and then
So
there's
it's
like
just
full on vagina, just like as big as a movie screen as you can get.
So it's like a snuff film.
Sort of, but not. It's like it was just like this very terrifying. It was almost like a nightmare in a way. Like I think at one point we like Bree. It was Bree and Owen and I who saw it, and we were kind of looking at each other like, what are we watching? And at one point like. There was just this terrible moment. Like I don't know how descriptive I could get with it.
Do it.
Maybe just sum it up and sum it up the best you can.
I mean,
like use a few words.
I'll
use
try to
buzzwords.
tiptoe around
Yeah.
this, but the boy is lying on the ground, and the girl stands over him with her legs open above his mouth, and then she says, "Open your mouth," and she. There's this thing that women have like once a month.
flow.
she periods into his mouth.
Periods into his mouth, like with intense, extreme detail.
Like it's not like
Yeah,
It's
no,
like
it's
a-
like yeah,
it's like a
Like a fount.
it's like
us. It
I'm gonna use one word here, and I promise I will never come back to it. Chunks. So after that scene, Owen leaned over and he said to us at almost full volume, "I think we're in hell now." So we like stayed almost to the very end, and we ended up. I think Bree was very upset about it.
Yeah, she was very
She
shaken
was like
after.
not okay. Like after she was like, "We need to get out of here," and I was like, "Okay." So we left, and there was like maybe 5 minutes of the movie left, and she had to take a walk, and I went with her, and she was very upset because it was just like there was no reason for any of the stuff that was happening. It was just it was very like shock for the sake of shock with like very little kind of like the story.
Payoff.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was. I'm glad I saw it because again, it's like broadening your horizons. It's like watching things that like there's no way I would have ever seen anything like that. I wouldn't have like gone to the movies specifically to see that movie. It's like Fantastic Fest is very much about eeny, meeny, miny, mowing these movies and then just jumping in like blind and watching these movies. And that was one of those movies. And it's just like, it's a lot of hit or miss. And this one was just like crazy miss for me.
I do like, sometimes you'll hit those movies where you're like, I don't know what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
I don't even know
And
if I
it's
call it a movie.
yeah.
It's okay because also it's an experience of its own. But also if you see one of those, you'll probably see like 2 other movies that are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
for
that
every
are-
really weird, polarizing one, there's 2 like heartfelt or like amazing, shocking, like great
like change your life
change your
kind
life
of thing.
type things. Yeah, and also really quick, if I can say, because this is a segue into yours, sort of.
Nice.
But I actually highly enjoyed The Ring versus The Grudge.
I did too. We saw it together. It was a fucking blast.
I was just, dude, Bree was like cheering and pumped.
Whoa.
She like loved it. We were like,
our,
oh
our
shit!
theater was going crazy.
Yeah,
for that.
everyone-
Well, let me
loved
start
it.
then with the one that I didn't like
Okay.
because it was The Ring versus The Grudge. But I will say that my only gripe with it was that it didn't get into the actual battle between the two until like the very end. I
Spoilers.
wanted that to happen way sooner. Not a spoiler.
I mean, if you,
If you're holding out, well, everybody should.
Like most versus movies, it takes a minute to get there.
I will say that was one of my only gripes with it, but I saw it with Sophia, who was not excited about it. And so I think with all horror movies, Philip was talking about this after we saw Blair Witch, you need to be in the right setting with the right people.
Yes, and I think that's like, had you been there with us, I think we would have made like a big fun
I have a good
spectacle
time
out of it.
whenever I'm with you guys. So
Yeah. Not to say that Sophia was like not the right person to see it with, but I think
she didn't like it. I don't
but
know.
it should be noted.
Sophia is very fun to watch movies with because she gets very
she's
terrified.
Like Maud too. Maud
Yeah.
last year was like covering her face and freaking out and jumping out of her seat, and I love seeing.
Oh, shit.
But like
Yeah.
to be fair to you and Sophia and anybody else that maybe didn't enjoy the movie, it was like at midnight.
Yeah,
and it was like
No, it
that's the other
started
thing.
at midnight.
It started at
yeah.
midnight. It was like a whole day of watching movies and doing shit. Like
That is the other thing. I fell asleep during it. I took a little nap, mostly because I was exhausted from my favorite movie, which was Bad Black.
There you go.
And it was
Bad Black was the fucking
one of the most.
I didn't see it.
It was one of the most fun festival experiences I've ever had. One of the most fun times I've ever had watching a movie. The only movie I saw at Fantastic Fest that got a standing ovation. In fact, he got 2
That's
standing
fucking crazy.
ovations. And here's the story of Bad Black. I probably told you already about this because we got out of the theater and we were like, "This is fucking awesome." So. Bad
It
Black
was like leaving a sporting event. That's
it
how
was
exciting it was.
insane.
Sorry,
I've
go ahead.
never
Yeah.
seen so many people enjoy the same thing at one time. So Bad Black is a Ugandan action movie that premiered at Fantastic Fest. And the guy presenting it is this American dude who was not an actor, but got dumped on his wedding day. And he had a buddy who was doing like Ugandan health flicks over there for doctors. And he was like, "Hey, I know these guys in a town that like to make movies together. You should come to Uganda and like be in this movie." And he was like, "Yeah, I just got broken up with on my wedding, so sure, I got nothing to lose." And 2 weeks later, he goes and he's now a fucking Ugandan action star.
wow, he's like big over there.
It's all of these. Okay, it's like a whole village. It's a bunch of friends. The way he pitched it to us, the audience, was they do it for each other. Like they're making movies with their buddies, which is great and charming. But also, one of the most legitimately funny movies I've ever seen. It's got the element of like, oh, it's a bad movie, it's fun, it's campy, it's whatever, and that's really funny. But there was a narrator who was narrating it, but also reacting to the movie in real time.
Yeah.
So he'd be like, "Oh shit," and then say really like out of the blue clever stuff like, "This doctor needs a border." Like,
in Uganda for them to watch movies because there's a really high illiteracy rate and also sometimes people just don't fully understand what's happening in the movie because it's kind of like that's not in their everyday life, like that's not like all these like high like sci-fi fantasy concepts don't really make sense to them. So this guy, they call them VJs and they're basically Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah.
So that's like what you're pitching, but like that's what they have for
And they
every single
explain
movie.
what's going on.
They
Yeah.
explain
Stuff,
and
like,
react to it.
They
And
even point
it's-
out actors from other movies this guy's made, and he's like, "Ah, he's alive!"
Yeah.
yeah.
It's also doubly impressive because this guy built this computer by himself and edited him himself with access to electricity and the internet. Maybe 3 days out of the week.
3 days out of
if
the week.
that.
Yeah.
So it's super impressive when you think about that. And also, it's just so fun to see as a movie fan, seeing Ugandan movies make references to American movies. Like, one of the characters is Swaz, which means Ugandan Schwarzenegger.
There's always Ugandan something.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
like, our guy we
Ugandan
had,
Expendables.
Yeah, ours was the guy we met was the Ugandan Jesus. Like,
Yeah. And Ugandan Jesus plays a doctor who has a Ugandan child as his assistant, and his name is Wesley Snipes. It's just, you can actually, the YouTube you can go on, and it is called Wakaliwood, and you can go, and they have, I think, almost all of them up there.
Like
but,
the movies,
yeah.
like you can watch them for free.
Yeah.
But not this one.
No,
This one might be, but
maybe.
I checked it out, and some of them are not subtitled, so it's worth it if you can catch a screening. And Sam and I were so pumped about it. We left, so the doctor brought back from Uganda a bunch of movie posters that the one guy in town who does the movie posters made, and they're all hand-painted on this material that is made from the bark of a tree. They make a cloth with it that they use to wrap dead bodies in. And
So
so
fucking
kids like cry when they see this fabric, and it also has a heavy connotation with cannibalism. So he hand paints it, and you can see like him testing the paint on the sides, and they're like beautiful. And Sam and I both bought one.
Where are they right now? Do you have them
Mine's in my
hanging, or-
room. I almost brought it today. I should have brought it today because
Just
it's
to show it off.
so cool.
Do you have
really,
pictures
really
of it they
cool.
can put up or something? Or this is all being done live?
This is all live. But you can go and check out our social media because I'll definitely post it later tonight
Yeah.
because it's
We
beautiful.
bought the same one.
How was traveling with it? Was it okay?
Oh, it was super easy. I thought it did look suspicious, this like brown wrap thing that I was like not tied, not nothing. It looked like I picked it up outside the airport. So I'm like, nah, whatever.
Were people asking you like, what the hell is this?
Nah, I did shove it on top of other people's like suitcases to get it into like the
overhead compartment?
overhead thing. Yeah. But
funny.
like it was so inspiring. Like this guy had story after story after story to tell us, and also like not only did we see the movie, we watched trailers for their other movies, and like those had
cool.
so much humor in it. And the actor we met, this is the first time their movies have been subtitled, and he's the one going through and writing it. Like. There were jokes where like two like stoner dudes are like doing drugs in the back and they're arguing if the predator's Jamaican or not because of the dreadlocks. Yeah, and then and they like get in other arguments and like it's so funny and like he talks about how like language barriers when it comes to directing. Like the director would tell him stuff, but he doesn't fully get English, so he's like, "You're mad? They stole your dog tags. Go." And like and that's it. Like he has like the dialogue, and he said like there was a line he had to say where he's describing a woman. And he didn't know anything about the character, and so he was like, she's a thief. She's tall. She's black. And he was like, am I getting into like race things right now? He's like, no, the movie's called Bad Black because her name is black. Yeah, her name is black. And he didn't get that until way later in the movie.
In the movie, he's visibly uncomfortable when
Yeah.
he says it. She's black.
Also, wait, they're the people who in these movies, because it's all based on like 80s action movies and it's like they're always commandos. But all the fighting you see is real.
Yeah,
they
do
all train each
backflips
other.
and ships.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Backflips and ships.
Yeah.
Chips?
Chips. It's great, and they also they made a little promo for the Alamo Draft House where
did.
they get into like a helicopter and they like animate it flying over a skyscraper that has Alamo Draft House.
Oh,
on
funny.
it, and it blows it up, and they go, "Fantastic Fest, are you ready to die?" And then they shot us. They did a Skype interview at the very end, and
Yes.
they shot the
cool.
audience dying of Ebola. So Sam and I are gonna be in a movie.
That's so good.
I didn't hear what they were saying when that happened, so everyone just started reacting. I was like,
Good.
we're gonna be in a movie though. Mm-hmm.
Also, it should be said that in between every movie or before the movie starts, there's like Fantastic Fest, or maybe Alamo Drafthouse just does this, but at Fantastic Fest, they show these little like Bollywood movies.
Yeah.
And they
Yes.
show these like
They're so good.
short
Hollywood
films.
ones, I think, were because of the theme of this year.
Yeah, well, last year they did it too. There was like
Oh,
a bunch
really?
of Bollywood stuff. Yeah, so I feel like it's.
Bollywood's just great.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, Bollywood's just great. I mean, the hallways of the Alamo Drafthouse are lined with Bollywood posters.
That's
so
true.
it's
So
like,
it was so like kind of like an honor to have ours on there.
Yeah.
Like the ones like Ricky and
Yeah.
all them. Maybe you should check out our social media to see them all because like we did Ghostbusters, we did Ex Machina, and we did
Evil Dead, yeah.
and they were incredible. And all the other events that they hosted for us and that we got to participate in were incredible. Also, just one quick mention before Fraud, we saw this short, and I don't have any assets for it, so I'll just describe it to you. It was called Twisted, and it was
Yeah.
about how people's memories can be altered just based on like urban legends. Like basically, there was an old story about in Niagara, New York, that the people were at a drive-in and they were watching Twister, and a big storm picked
right.
up, and a tornado flew through and destroyed the drive-in while it was playing Twister. And like, what? That's crazy. And like, then they start getting testimonies from people who work there, people who own it. They're like, yeah, we were playing Twister. It's like, but the power shut off as soon as the storm started. Like nothing was playing. Also, it was playing at the other.
Yeah, and it was totally empty. And you got so
yeah.
many people being like, I was there. I remember hiding in
They
the back
literally
seat.
remember it.
And it's just such a
Weird.
cool testimony to that concept that your memories are just a recreation of your memories. And
Or
so
like
things
someone
can
will say
change.
something and you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I
makes
was
sense.
there. Yeah.
And so like eyewitness testimonials and crimes are pretty
Sketchy.
Yeah, pretty sketchy.
Throw them out
most
the
of the
window.
Time. What?
Throw them out the window. That's
Throw
what
them
I
out
was
the
saying.
window.
Throw them out the window.
Throw 'em out the window.
Throw 'em out
I
the
got thrown out a
window.
window. I
Out the
remember.
window.
You did?
Yeah.
What was that?
I was a child.
You were.
I got thrown out a window.
Are you okay?
I remember.
You do. And you bring it back around for
Didn't
Tuesday.
Correctly.
Didn't James Taylor's kid fall out a window? And
Yes.
That's what Fire and Rain's about?
That's exactly what happened. I'm actually the kid from Fire and Rain.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
This is
I
James
remember
Taylor
this.
over here.
It's a
Hi,
documentary.
James Taylor.
Anyway.
Fantastic Fest, huh? Guys, let us know what your favorite movie was you saw at Fantastic Fest.
I mean, I want to say, like, for anybody curious about these types of movies, or if you're in Austin, or if you ever get the chance to go to Fantastic Fest, please try to do so because it's such a cool festival. It's just, I mean, if you love movies,
And video games. Sam and I played some really dope
There's a
indie
cr-
video
yeah,
games.
there's a
And
cool
there were
arcade.
VR horror movies we got to
yeah,
watch
and
in
there
the
was
lobby.
an escape room there.
There's
There
so
was
much
Satanic
cool shit.
Panic.
Itch.io,
Yeah.
Itch.io.
I should have just made my whole thing about Itch.io.
Honestly,
That was my-
Itch.io was like a highlight last year, and once again,
It's like a
I've never
baptism
felt
for
more at
nerds.
home in my life. It is a 30-piece satanic marching band, and that is so up my
it
alley.
just speaks to
I
me,
cried,
like, yeah, and it's like, you know, it's satanic. It's not like, you know, it's not really worshiping the devil or anything. But
it
it's
never is. That's not what metal is about.
Yeah, but it's like such a fun like event because it's like there's like 15 guys on stage all drumming shit, and then there's like people in the crowd all walking around, and it's just such a it's just
My favorite was the guy on the bike with the subwoofers.
Yeah.
He was riding through the audience as they're playing with
Yeah.
the megaphones on his back. One dude, I saw a dude with a Thurman last year.
Yeah.
and that was pretty cool.
yeah, there was he had it, but he wasn't using it this time. I don't think.
I liked
Weird.
it. Everybody, I think you guys had left at this point, but everybody got down on their knees and like put their hands up. And I was sitting up on the bar. It was so cool to watch.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, it's
awesome.
just so if you ever get a chance, like look into Fantastic Fest. It's like the same time every year around September. or-
End of September, yeah.
Yeah.
It's also like Austin's awesome. Everybody there they're not like, everyone's like super rad.
Yeah,
And if
everybody.
if you want good food, if you can drink,
wanna
awesome
make
drinks
friends?
as well. I just think there's also an age limit on this festival as well.
Is there?
I
Might
think
be
there.
21
I guess
and
it
over.
makes
I think it's
sense.
21 and
That
over.
kinda makes sense.
Yeah, so
Because they don't card. They
be a-
didn't card at all.
not really, no.
But
That
I
was
also
very
didn't
nice.
really see any young people there too, so that's an interesting. Yeah,
One
I guess
dude
I
had
didn't
his
think about
baby.
it.
One dude
I
had
did
a
see
baby.
a baby.
Yeah,
And there
was
was a diaper in the bathroom at one point too. So.
and it's the only time in your entire life where the men's bathroom line will be longer than the women's, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm
It
like,
was
man, I
nice.
just gotta pee, but for the movie, come on. Anyways, guys, thank you for checking out Best Thing We Saw All Week, or I Saw All Week, whatever the title is on that iPad up there. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. Let us know if you want to be listening to this as a podcast form. I'm Sam. You can listen to my podcast, Only Stupid Answers. Real fun. That's on iTunes and other places. Go ahead and check out my Twitter, Sam Basher. Who are you?
I'm Steve Zaragoza. You can also check out my Twitter at Steve Zaragoza, and other social media is also just Steve Zaragoza. And I also have some podcasts called Dynamic Banter with Mike Falzone, and It Feels Like the First Time with Owen Carter and Brett Register, where we rewatch Lost.
That's pretty fun. And Whitney.
And you can watch me on Twitter at TweetMeMore and on other social platforms at Whitney S. Moore. And also, if you like metal, you can hear me doing metal news every week right on over at metalsucks.net. This would be a hurtful way to die.
Like in
Being
there?
hit with
Oh,
that?
being pulled
No,
apart like that?
like,
From the cheeks?
From the cheeks. Getting pulled apart by the cheeks.
Right here. Dig in.
It's because you're too cute. You're like, you're so cute. Ah.
Guys, dig in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.
in.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Dig in. Whitney, dig in on this side.
Dig in on that side.
Dig it. Dig it. Get it. Dig in.
Does that hurt?
No. Pull.
You have a lot of face.
I do. Hold on, kids. We're going for a bumpy ride.
Buckle up, babies.
What if we killed Sam?
What if we died from that?
You touched a lot of a sick man's face.
Yeah, we gotta wash. I feel it kind of like washing through me.
Yeah.
I feel a coldness.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
Well, I didn't know. I get insecure when I don't know things.
Sorry, your beard's kind of gross.
My beard is gross?
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
I take care of my beard, man.
I don't know what
take
that
care of my
means,
beard.
but up
I think
close,
you wear
it's very
boys'
scary.
clothes, like a little boy's clothes. I think your clothes are for boys, like little boys.